Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is of human number. Its number is 666.
Hello.
That's right.
My
Iron Maiden.
I needed time to think to get the memories from my mind. That I saw in my old dreams was of reflections of my woman staring back at me. It's always there.
Easy there, Bruce.
6.
The air raid siren.
The number of the beast. Hell, the fire, soon to be released. I'm coming home.
Iron Maiden.
I will possess your body and I'll make you burn. I have the power. I have the force. I have the power to make my evil take its course. Da-na-na-na, okay.
I think Raul's ready. All right. Iron Maiden, my favorite band. Love this band. We were talking backstage how before I was introduced to Iron Maiden, my favorite band was Grateful Dead, which is like a complete 180-degree turn. But I guess I don't know. It's probably shit like this that drew me into Iron Maiden. I'm noticing that Little Boat has an Iron Maiden shirt, and that is the album that got me into Iron Maiden. Also happens to be the album before this one.
Check out what he's drinking out of too.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. I got my shirt on.
Nice.
I had another Iron Maiden shirt that was more related to the Beast on tour, which was the tour for this album. But I think it's away. I think it's in storage. But on the back, it had tour dates and it had the head of that guy there. Pretty cool shirt.
I need me a Maiden shirt.
Me too.
I need me one.
I can't believe you don't have a Power Slave shirt.
I used to have one that it was like, dude, I got it. Oh, I got it at when I went to see Iron Maiden. It was a concert shirt, and it was like a guy that was like half rotten or completely rotten. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah,
it was a zombie, and it was really freaking nasty, dude. The shirt was ugly as fuck. I bought it, I guess, more for shock value, and I would wear it in junior high. You know, I thought I was a little badass without the sleeves. Of course, back in the day, they had those sleeves. The fucking rotten zombie. I was like, yeah. You know, you want attention, but you didn't really want attention, but you wanted attention. So I went with that shirt. And I used to have one with the number of the beast with the white, you know, biker, 2 3/4 sleeves. Remember those shirts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was freaking, I wore those for almost, it felt like forever.
Did you have a mullet too back then?
I had a mullet, dude.
Oh, please show us a picture.
I don't know if I have any, dude, but I had
you
the
gotta,
layers.
You gotta dig one up and let us see it.
I had the layers. You couldn't see my ears.
Yes.
Maiden, dude.
I had long hair at one point.
Rocker.
When I had hair.
Yeah, I had hair for a little while too. Long hair. About down to here.
Oh shit.
That's pretty close to where mine was.
I think I could go like this with my, like, I get it here and it will come like to here. But it was real it was curly, it was wavy and shit.
Thought about growing it back out for a second, but I'm like, man, I'm too old for that mess. Look like a fool. One of them old people with long hair.
The time for that's when you're young, bro.
Yeah.
And grow it out when you're young as much as you want. Dye it any color you want. Do whatever you want, bro. Because that's what being young is for, dude. Just go for it. It's not gonna make any difference on who you become when you're an adult. None.
Yeah.
Just have fun, dude. Okay, this is too. I told you guys. Somebody brought it up in the chat. This was gonna be tangent night at cover to cover.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna shut up.
This album, it's Iron Maiden's third album, and with that they bring in a new singer, and talk about an album that was tailor-made for Bruce Dickinson. Mm-hmm. They even talk about that in the story within the history of writing it. They brought in Bruce, and it was more the direction of writing that Steve Harris wanted to go, and they knew that Paul was not going to be able to project what Steve wanted to write.
Did you like the first singer?
Yes.
It really stinks because right when they started kicking it, like right before they kicked him out, his voice was like just starting to like full and become more of like a greater voice, but he got cut short and never really became what he could have been. And who knows what it would have been like if he was on this album.
I think the issue became, other than his drinking, was that they were taking off, and they weren't willing to wait to see how many albums it was going to take, or how many years it was going to take for him to evolve, should we say.
Do you think?
Yeah, I really like the first two albums.
Do you think they would be the Maiden, same Maiden, if they would have kept them?
I don't think so.
Not at all, right?
No, because there was a greater involvement after Bruce came in.
Yeah. It seems like they gelled, right?
Yeah, because Adrian Smith started writing more with this album. He brought in a song from his Urchin days,
Dude, can you imagine the guilt they must have had, bro? That's a big, to kick somebody like. Can you imagine the guilt that they must have had, dude? Because they were tight. Or everybody has their issues, right? But God, that still has to be a tough.
Yeah, I mean,
live with,
to oust Paul Di'Anno had been with them for almost 5 years, I think.
That's hard.
Now there was a guy before him, Paul Day, but they hadn't recorded anything with him. There was rumors that they had done some of the Soundhouse stuff had been done with Paul Day, but it turned out that's just what they was rumors. It was all Di'Anno. So Paul, he was with them for 5 years, for almost 5 years before this. And
it's a tough one,
right? It's kind of like Def Leppard had a similar situation with Pete. Same kind of scenario, and they ended up ousting him because he was becoming overbearing. So, I guess that's a theme in the genre, because Metallica ousted Dave Mustaine for the same reason, and Black Sabbath ousted Ozzy for the same reason. But This album was released March 22nd, 1982. So it just last week celebrated its 40th anniversary.
Wow.
Amazing stuff. It's funny that I'm an Iron Maiden fan, and this album would coincide with the year of my birth. I love that. It was recorded between January and February of '82, and I'm noticing that theme with a lot of there are a lot of albums that we've done. There seems to be an instant turnaround from when they record to when they press and release the albums. So it's like it's recorded January, February, and they're done with it, and it's released a month later.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's incredible.
That's credible to be produced and mixed in that fast a time.
Well, and Martin Birch, who was their producer, he was kind of a seasoned veteran, so it's not like they weren't working with someone unskilled, but this was he did Killers with them, and then everything up to Fear of the Dark. So they definitely developed a rapport with Martin Birch because he was the producer, and it's kind of interesting that it would coincide that him leaving would coincide with Bruce leaving. And when was that? 92, 93. But they recorded at the Battery in London. And it was released on EMI and Capitol in the US. And the first single was Run to the Hills. Talk about a single to go out on tour with and give everybody a taste of what was coming. I mean,
it's a badass song.
The song speaks for itself.
It's probably their most popular song, you would think.
It's if not top 3.
Dude, the first time I heard that song was when I saw the video on MTV.
Yeah.
And it was like I had seeing something for the very first time. It's like, what is this? It was like, wow. I instantly fell in love with that song. I was singing that song everywhere. It was like, who's Iron Maiden? Who Run to the Hills? Oh my God, the video's amazing. It blew me out the water, dude. Loved it.
I remember seeing it was a commercial. They were using it on a commercial for VH1. And that was my first influence. Fast forward a couple years later when I was introduced to them in college. And I'm like, that's that freaking song of VH1. This is the band?
It's freaking amazing.
So they start the tour. They record, they start the tour, and I forgot where I was going with that. Boat, you got anything?
I don't know. You got anything?
I'll ask you a question. So you guys, am I correct to saying that last time that your favorite Maiden album is Peace of Mind, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That was my introduction into Maiden.
But it's almost neck and neck with Number of the Beast, I do have to say.
Dude, after listening to this a few times, and this is one of the albums that I go back to every few months to like within a year. I listen to this album and I get into it for a couple of days, and then, dude, for me, it's this album, dude. I freaking adore this album. I love Peace of Mind, but this album is just special to me. I think they got better on Peace of Mind, but it doesn't take anything away from this album.
No, not at all.
No.
They got better on Peace of Mind, but this is that's the way I would like to say it. It seems more polished on Peace of Mind.
Yeah. This album is the album that put them on the map.
Right.
Before they were a new wave of British heavy metal band. After this album, they were worldwide act.
Yeah.
Bar none. Worldwide act. Huge in South America, huge in Europe.
Japan. It's crazy, right?
Proliferation to the max.
They freaking love them. They're Kiss or Maiden?
Kiss.
There's
No,
more.
I'm sorry, Maiden.
There's more of a Kiss love overall. I think maybe in the U.S., but not worldwide.
Yeah,
Maiden's more worldwide.
Yeah.
Maiden and Rush are the two biggest bands worldwide.
Rush?
Yeah, Rush is huge in South America.
Really?
Huge.
A lot of bands that aren't super big here are huge in South America and Europe, especially like hardcore and metal and stuff like that.
Probably
Europe is the hot spot and South America is the hot spot.
Yeah.
you can go to any metal or punk video, look in the comments, and there'll always be at least one person that says "Come to Brazil."
Mhm.
Always.
Yeah.
That's
But-
awesome, dude.
And that's like what we said in the past. You know, the Ramones down in South America were treated like they were the Beatles.
Wow.
And then they come to the U.S. and
And they play a little venue.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Looking for Sugar Man?
No, I haven't.
You guys haven't seen that? Okay, you guys got homework this week. That this goes totally to this subject. Looking for Sugar Man.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. It's like a documentary. Almost. It's excellent, dude. It's basically this unknown guy from here in the States. He put out one album, he disappeared, and the album, he's like a rock god in South Africa. And somebody finds him and takes him in to South Africa, and it's amazing.
Okay.
It sounds like a movie made up in Hollywood, but it's freaking real life. It's crazy. Okay, tangent. Sorry, my bad.
That's all right. A couple of the things that I or stories or whatever, what have you, that I discovered was the fact that how much Bruce was involved in writing on this record, but he was uncredited because he was contractually obligated, or he was contracted still with Samson, the band he was with before, and who was a good band as well. Interesting to note, the drummer for Samson was once a drummer for Iron Maiden in their early days, but so he was contractually obligated to not be credited or whatever, not write songs. One of the other things was during the recording, there was some kind of weird phenomenon going on, lights going on and off by themselves, and just weird random shit. They said it culminated in Martin Birch being involved in an accident with a bus of nuns, and the bill that came to him was 666 pounds.
Coincidence?
Coincidence
or not?
Which I guess it all ties in with maybe some of the subject matter in the album, and the outlook that developed on Iron Maiden, being viewed as Satanists, even though people don't know how to read lyrics, which that's one of the things that Steve Harris said. He said they obviously didn't read the lyrics and know the story behind these songs, because they would have come to a different conclusion. They just looked at the cover and judged it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of bands that use satanic imagery, and they're far from it, like Slayer and Venom, which I actually was kind of surprised by. It's just the imagery. That's
Shock. It's the shock, you know. They draw people for the shock value.
Exactly. Good. Like me getting my shirt.
Yep. Shocked your mom, didn't it, when she found you had that album?
That album, dude, and I bought a huge poster of it, put it over my bed. Then then I would get Hit Parader or Parade, and I would cut out the pictures of my favorite artists, and I would tape them to my wall. My wall was just taped up with head-banging pictures. My mom was scared to go into my room for a while. You know, being Cuban, super Catholic and all this shit, and I got a devil coming out of a freaking hell with fire over my bed, and she's like, what the hell?
I remember when I was a kid, when I go to my cousin's house, I was in awe because he had an Aces High poster, and I would just sit there and stare at that thing and say, man, that's so badass.
That's the coolest room, man. I love your
cool.
room.
I want that poster. My mom wouldn't let me have that poster.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was.
I love some of the imagery from that song, Aces High, with the, especially the animated video that they put out later, where Eddie's in the freaking fighter plane, and he's got the freaking fighter hat. It's freaking great.
That's probably my favorite version of Eddie is the Aces High Eddie.
He's cool. What a great gift! Like, it's
not to mention, man, Iron Maiden's on tour or about to go on tour.
That's my favorite version.
And I think their last date. I think their last date's in Tampa, man. But damn, the tickets are expensive.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Are they early?
Dude, general admission, like on the ground level, like $360.
What?
Cheapest tickets were like $80.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's not including the service charges and fees, and
he's
paying almost $100 a ticket just for cheap seats. And I really want to take him, you know, but geez.
Wow.
That's rough.
I saw them once. I saw the Peace of Mind tour. I saw that one. I think I was like 14, 13. I remember Quiet Riot opened for them with Mental Health. That's when Quiet Riot was huge when they came on tour. And then Iron Maiden was like, dude, which one was better? Was it Maiden better or was it Quiet Riot? Dude, they were both put on a great show. But dude, Eddie coming out and Bruce opens up in that tour, he would open up the head because it was the Peace of Mind one.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was eating the brains. Oh, dude, it was nuts. He comes out like on stilts. He's real tall. Oh, dude, it was crazy.
Oh, always so theatrical.
Yeah, I caught there's one of their concerts. I think it's a South America concert actually too. Recently within the past few years, and the production level of that show is amazing. You know, like it opens up with Aces High, so it has like the Spitfire, you know, floating above the stage like it's fighting, and Bruce comes out in his like fighter gear, you know. And I guess he changes throughout the sets. Every song he comes out and changes. And
he changed. He does a little cosplaying.
Yeah,
that is badass.
And I really would like to experience that.
Yeah,
I think Iron Maiden takes the cake for best live shows by far. Like that, the production and just what they go through to.
Yeah, I agree.
It's crazy.
It's like when you first ask that question, your mind automatically goes to Kiss, and then it's like, fuck, you know what? It's not Kiss, it's Iron Maiden, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Iron Maiden. They made a whole freaking dude off of Eddie and
the way that they don't just stand there, they're not slouches. The way they work the crowd.
Yeah.
And these guys, these guys are in their 60s now.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bruce still runs around that stage like a maniac. Like he's 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that just still blows me away.
Well, aren't they like all huge like soccer players?
Yep. Yeah, they're big into soccer.
Yeah.
Yep.
West Ham, baby.
They're huge into soccer, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you check out the credits in the album, the last thing on the very bottom, it says "Up Your Irons."
What? That's for one of the teams.
That's for this team.
Oh, nice.
West Ham United.
Yep.
West Ham United. I'm a Tottenham fellow myself.
Oh, that's our rival. Our rival. Tottenham Hotspurs.
I thought that must be one of the later albums where there's a picture of the band. Yeah, it is one of the later albums because Yannick Jarez is in that picture. But they're all wearing the jerseys, the football jerseys. Oh, I don't see it. But I guess we'll talk a little bit more about the artwork and how people misinterpreted that whole Eddie being the puppeteer of the devil and the devil being a puppeteer of the smaller Eddie down in there. And it's like, who's the idea behind it was who's controlling who. And Derek Riggs said, and I found that appropriate considering this is comics and music. But Derek Riggs is who does the majority of the art. Brought up a Doctor Strange comic book, and I tried to do a little research, and I found a comment for this one when I get it shared here. Chrome tab. It's Marvel Team Up number 21. And the people commenting thought this is the closest resemblance to what Derek Riggs might have been talking about. Somebody said that they tried to reach out to Derek Riggs and to see if he could provide some insight on it, but it kind of makes sense because
how cool is that?
Yeah.
That is so freaking cool. When I read that today too, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
That kind of makes me want to seek out that book.
Exactly. I'm glad you showed that. I'm glad you had it ready because I didn't know what it was.
He was just at one of our cons here.
Was he?
Last October. I wanted to go, but we didn't have the money.
And who is it again that did that?
Derek Riggs.
Yeah.
Derek Riggs.
He's the one that did all the Eddie covers.
Oh,
painted him. He was at Spooky.
Oh, dude, how cool is that?
Yeah.
You didn't get to meet. I'm sorry, you didn't get to meet him though, right?
No, I didn't get to go.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to take him just for the sole purpose so he could get something signed, get an album signed or something by him. And
oh, wow.
Didn't work out this year or last
that
year.
That would be cool. This is the one I would get signed by him.
Which vinyl do you have? You have Peace of Mind?
I don't have any of them on vinyl.
Oh, never mind. You got to change that.
You're slacking, Dad.
I've been getting them the CDs.
Nice.
I really like the 2015 digipacks.
Yeah.
Because they're all uniformed and they got like 80 at the top and stuff.
It does look good.
That's the ones that I have were from 98. They were the 98 remasters. And mine have the pictogram on the edge where if you have all of them, It makes the full picture of Eddie.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of neat.
Oh,
And it's I think it's Eddie from the first album, which makes sense because it's
chronological.
That's their first stuff, and
I think like
that shirt I was talking about had that image on the back of it.
That's awesome. I was gonna say. Have you seen the? Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. The original CD pressings are like stupid expensive. Like they're like $60 or more.
I believe that.
Crazy.
It's dude, they're like Kiss. They got their fans are rapping.
Oh yeah,
Big fans.
Oh yeah,
Eddie, dude, what a great marketing idea, dude.
Oh my god.
That's one thing too about the Iron Maiden fans. They're just like Kiss fans, but for Iron Maiden, they're diehard through and through. You know, there's nothing that comes between them, basically.
Yeah.
And Henry Rollins made a great comment. He opened up for Iron Maiden one time, and after the show, he said, "Never again," because Iron Maiden fans, and I believe this because I'm one of them, are
Booed them off
insane. They are insane. They are rabid. And he said they didn't care who I was. They just knew I was in the way of seeing their favorite band. And he said, never again.
That's funny, dude. Fucking fanatics.
And if you think about it too, I mean, Kiss and Iron Maiden, they probably have the biggest passionate fans that I could think of. Because I mean,
right?
Who else is there besides Elvis or something? You know
who has a lot of fans and they're pretty freaking Stones fans are pretty freaking
yeah,
crazy for the Stones. It's an older crowd definitely, but I remember we companies used to have the Ticketmaster at one time, dude, and dude, I remember when the Rolling Stones tickets were going on sale, there was a line out the door in Hialeah, bro. In Hialeah, which is 95% Latin, Cuban, and it was a line just because it was the Stones. So I think the Stones maybe, but I don't even know if they're at the same level.
nah.
I don't think so.
Just the imagery of both bands, Kiss has their logo and stuff, and Maiden has their logo and Eddie.
Yeah.
Stones, they got their lips, that's about it. I mean, you see a bunch of trendy people wearing Stone shirts and stuff.
Yeah. Trendy.
Bougie people.
Bougie, there you go.
Bougie with the
bougie mofo.
Yeah, the bougie lips with the rhinestones, right?
Yeah,
like that.
I always hated that stuff. Oh my god, drove me nuts. They brought it up in here, and I completely forgot about it. Stormtroopers of Death, doing the homage on Bigger Than the Devil. I completely forgot about that until I read it, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, they did do that."
I love Stormtroopers of Death, man.
I like them better than Anthrax.
Oh yeah,
Let's see if I can.
It's more of like a thrash band.
I don't know.
And probably one of the best crossover bands.
I'm gonna share it. It's not very big, but you kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their Sergeant D. That's their logo guy. He's kind of like a spinoff of from the movie House.
Yeah.
Remember his buddy came back and was haunting him from the war.
Okay.
Sergeant D.
That first album's amazing.
Yeah, the Speak English or Die album's badass.
Yeah. I've never heard Bigger Than the Devil, but I've heard Speak Easy or Die, or Speak English or Die. Courtesy of my friend James.
I don't know how big that album was in Hialeah. Speak English or Die. Everybody would be dead.
I don't know. I don't know where's Billy Milano from? Is he from New York?
Probably, I think. I know Scott Ian, he's the guitar player. He was from Anthrax, and I think all those guys were from New York.
Yeah.
Every one of them was
Danny Loker was the bassist.
Dude, there's a video of S2e15 playing a live show. The singer, I kid you not, is on like 30 feet in the air, standing on like a pole like this big, singing, and he does a front flip into the crowd and like knocks like 3 people out. And he's trying to get out, he's getting dragged, and he like punches some dude in the face and climbs on stage.
Dude, that sounds like a superhero movie, like a Black Panther superhero movie or something.
Yeah, he did a front flip and knocked 3 people out, kicking them all in the face.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those people.
Dude, that's nuts.
But he was from that major underground hardcore scene back then too, because those guys were brutal.
The New York hardcore guys were top dogs, man. They're my favorite. But anyways, we're off track.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to do on an S2e rant.
I'm glad it wasn't my fault that time.
I guess we can talk a little bit about going to some of the songs.
One thing I do have to say, and it's the one thing I hate about this album, is that Number of the Beast is the 5th track on the album. If they just made it the 6th track on the album, it would have been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. They could just swap a couple of songs around and made it the 6th track.
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. We always talk about, oh my God, what a great first song, man. They nailed it. What a great. This opening song sucks balls, bro.
I'm not a big fan of it.
It's the worst song on the whole album, and it's the first song. That song sucks. Dude, that song is trash, bro. It's like they wrote it when they were in 1st grade or kindergarten. They were just, this sounds like it would make sense.
Is it the worst or is it Gangland?
I like Gangland, dude.
See, I'm not a big fan of Gangland.
Gangland's forgettable.
I think they should have opened up with The Prisoner.
I like The Prisoner too.
That would have been a good opening. Start it with the speaking.
Dude, I would have started with Number of the Beast, man. Fuck.
Here's the funny thing. What goes along with what Jim just said.
I'm getting a cramp.
Call
Call
it
the arm, is it?
Oh, that's not in my leg. It's in my chest. Oh my God, it hurts.
Call it the Mandela effect. But I popped this. I dug this out so I could listen to it in the truck, and I distinctly remember "Prisoner" being the first song, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I hammered the albums into my head when I was in my 20s, and I haven't listened to them in 15 years. I don't know, whatever, because I didn't need to because they were in here. But I swear to God, "The Prisoner" was the first track. And Invaders started playing, and I'm like,
For me, I thought it was Number of the Beast, and I thought instead of Hallowed Be Thy Name was the ender. I thought Cretia Avenue was the end of the album, was the last song. So I had that messed up too. Oh my God.
Me personally, I don't really mind Invaders too much. It's not a great song, but
it's the worst opening song on any album we've done.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. It's not really
I agree with that.
Eventful.
It's bad. It's bad. You guys have it ahead of Gangland. I have Gangland right after it, so we're in the same neck of the woods. And I love the beginning of Prisoner.
Yeah.
I am not a number.
And I love the story behind that.
Yes.
How they
call, yeah, I heard it, but I don't remember it word for word, but they called the actor and they're like,
yeah, Patrick,
how he was going to take it, if they're going to let him use it or not. And
you know who the actor is, right?
Patrick McGoohan.
Yeah, he's Edward Longchanks from Braveheart, the old king.
Yeah,
okay.
That's him.
You know what would have been cool is if they would have got like Vincent Price to do it or something.
Totally.
They tried, and he wanted 25,000 pounds.
Dude, that was made for him, bro. It's funny, it's not him, and I still hear his voice when it comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they called him and Smallwood, the manager. And I love Bruce telling the story because it was one of his childhood shows and he was a big fan of it. And Smallwood calls and he tries to recite the passage and he completely screws it up. And Bruce said he's going like this. No, you said it wrong. And the response was, who is this? It's a rock band, you say? Do it. How classy is that? You just do it. Go ahead. Have at it.
Killer song though. I love that's one of my top songs on the album.
Let's do the favorite songs. I think you already know my worst songs.
I might now.
Which one's some of the favorite ones?
Run to the Hills for sure.
Run to the Hills for sure.
And Prisoner for me.
I think Children of the Damned is the best song.
When that starts off, when Children of the Damned starts off, you kind of hear like that early Metallica on them slow, like ballady type songs, dude, with no distortion, acoustic,
When Bruce said that it was kind of quasi inspired by Black Sabbath's Children of the Sea from Heaven and Hell. And I can see that. That makes sense.
Children of the Sea or Children of the Dam or the Grave?
No, Children of the Sea.
Okay.
Because he was talking about it was a tribute to Dio.
Okay.
And that was one of the Dio albums with Black Sabbath. Was Children of the Sea. And Steve likes to. This is one prime example that Steve likes to take things from other mediums and write music based on those. Like this is based on Village of the Damned. And the title track is based on a dream he had or a nightmare after watching The Omen 2 late at night. So it's like perfect. And the songs that come to him, just the catalog that he has written over the last 45 years. Amazing. And not Adrian Smith writes some fantastic songs as well.
Donnie, what's your favorite Maiden song?
Fear of the Dark.
What album is that off of?
Fear of the Dark.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, it's the last album of the early era before Bruce Dickinson went on his solo. But my favorite Maiden song is probably that one.
Do you have a favorite or least favorite album?
A least favorite album? This got me in trouble. I got some mean comments on the ranking video, but I'm not a big fan of Somewhere in Time.
Really?
And I know that's a popular album.
It's a hot take.
It is a hot take. But Raul can attest, I have a lot of hot takes.
Is Somewhere in Time the one that came after Peace of Mind?
No, that's Power Slave.
The one after Power Slave.
It was Power.
Somewhere in Time is after Power Slave.
I think I got into Maiden big time with this album. Then Peace of Mind, I loved it. And then Power Slave, I was lukewarm. And I agree with you. Somewhere in Time, the title track, I freaking loved. But the rest of the album, I wasn't crazy about it. And then I've never heard any other Maiden after that.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
That's the only song that I like on Somewhere in Time is probably Wasted Years.
Wasted Years is good. Wasted Years and Somewhere.
But it just...
Oh, no, Wasted Years is the one I'm thinking about. Yeah, that's the song.
I don't think it's not a bad album. Let's be clear. I'm an Iron Maiden fan. I like all their shit. But for some reason, that one just doesn't resonate with me.
Got it.
If that makes any sense.
Totally.
Well, I noticed too that Somewhere in Time was like the first album they didn't come out back-to-back years too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they went first 4 albums was from 80 to 84, and then Somewhere in Time came out in 86. So did they spend more time on that thing, or were they touring more? Or?
Probably they might, because they released the Live After Death in 85. So
and after that, they seem to come out every 2 years.
Yeah. I think they started their touring schedule,
and then
became a little more rigorous, and
then 3 years. Then it went from 3 years, 3 year gaps.
They started taking more time in between albums.
Do you guys have a favorite Maiden song?
Mine's always been The Trooper.
Yeah, probably.
The Trooper?
Yeah.
This song's a fucking jam, dude.
I love that song.
I still ain't tired of it. Every time I hear it, I still jam out to it.
That Fear of the Dark, The Trooper, Hallowed Be Thy Name are probably my top 3.
So what are your favorite songs on this album?
Children of the Damned, Prisoner, Hallowed Be Thy Name. And I really like 22 Acacia Avenue.
I love that song, dude.
That's such a freaking great song.
That song is freaking insane. So
that's the Adrian Smith song. And it's a sequel to Charlotte the Harlot, because Charlotte was a girl they all knew.
Dude, that song jams. It's long as hell, dude.
Yeah. And his vocals on that song.
Yeah.
You might even get it free. Freaking great.
It's like I hear that song and I can see myself walking on the cobblestones in London or something, going down a dark alley, and it's like, this is it here, guys. It's somewhere right here. It's such a good song.
In the actual lyrics for 22 Acacia Avenue, right under it says the continuing saga of Charlotte the Harlot, and then it tells you the lyrics. I think there was one other one after this that also tied into the story.
Oh, cool.
Later.
My favorite Maiden song is Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden's gonna get you. No matter how.
Dude, when he sings that line, dude, and then guitar. Da, na, 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 na. Oh my god, I think that song is just freaking evil, bro. It's so good.
Every song on that is great.
It's somewhere out there, wherever you are. Iron Maiden's gonna get you. And you. Oh my god, it's so badass. So freaking badass.
There should be more bands that make songs named after the band. Because there's Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath. Motorhead did one for the Ramones. I think there was actually a song called Motorhead. And a couple others I can think of.
Dude, that is absolutely right. There's not a lot of bands that do that.
I think Descendants have a song.
Oh, and Motorhead is the last song that he wrote when he was in Hawkwind.
Yeah.
Yep. He said, I'm taking it with me. I'm taking this bottle of Jack, and I'm taking that song, and I'm leaving. But this thing, I need to sit down and actually just read through this because it's got a lot of cool stuff in there. There's an interview with Clive Burr, and anybody who's not in the know, Clive Burr. This was the last album with Clive Burr on the drum seat.
Oh, the drummer. That's right.
And
Nico
McBrain.
Nico.
But is that his real name? Is it? Come on, have you ever? Is that his real name? And he's in Maiden. It's like, come on, dude. No, but he changed his name before he went on audition. It's like, oh shit, it's a no-brainer. We gotta get Nico McBrain, right? It just makes too much sense.
Well, they toured with the band that he was in. He was playing with, I believe it was Crust was the name of the band, and they had him come out in this dressed up like this guy.
Oh wow!
And do the theatrics. So he was kind of part of the band before he was in the band, and but after they released. I don't want to say fired because they still did, but there was creative differences and so forth with Clive Burr. They brought Nico in because I think they auditioned just Nico and brought him in. He's been with the band ever since. And that guy is the same age as my dad. So he's still up there pounding the skids like nobody's business. Great drummer.
How old is your dad?
70.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, my dad will be 70. I think Nico is 70.
Wow.
But Clive contracted or was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, and he passed away in 2013. But there's an interview they did with him, and I wanted to read it before the show tonight, but I didn't get a chance to. I guess I was too busy watching Alien earlier, but
one of my all-time favorites.
I don't know where it went. But there's a list of. I was going to dig those books out too. They did, I think, a couple sets now. Comic books.
Okay.
And they started associating comic books with their tours and the video game that came out. But the list, the staff on this magazine did their top 50 of songs, of Iron Maiden songs, and 3 songs from this album were in the top 25. The number 1 being
Run to the Hills.
Nope.
Margaret, number of the beast.
Hallowed be that name.
Thy name. And there was, they've, members of the band and, you know, both past and present have stated that is one of their favorite ones to do. And it's only ever been out of the set list twice since this album came out.
Wow.
Phenomenal song. Just unbelievable. Everything about this album is phenomenal.
Dude, the cover is crazy.
The cover, the songs, the writing.
The cover is timeless. It screams metal.
Yeah, I think Bruce kind of changed metal from this point on with his vocals because
the air raid siren.
You know, other bands started you noticed would start singing like that, and then the hair bands, you know, and stuff like that.
Definitely affected the hair bands. Definitely.
I think actually Number of the Beast might be the first Maiden song I ever heard. And I think it was in a Tony Hawk game, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And in that game, you can actually play as Eddie in it. But I didn't, at the time, I didn't know it was Eddie. He kind of looked like a zombie.
Right.
And like 5, 6 years ago, I went back to like, huh, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's Tony Hawk 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at Boat with the game knowledge. That's number 4, man. It's number 4. Tony
That game's so good. I was actually playing. I was playing that game while I was listening to the album.
Nice. Good choice.
That game was good.
This album is definitely a good album to just put on and like chill to, you know.
Without a doubt.
It's a good drive. You can good for driving, everything. This is kind of an all around good album for doing everything.
Yeah.
Chilling, partying, driving.
Headbanging.
See, when I was younger, I was never really huge in the Maiden. I'm kind of maturing into the band, you know, liking them more and more the more I listen to them.
I have Arrested Development with them. I got stuck on Peace of Mind and Number of the Beast, and that was pretty much it for me. I can't get out of those. Those are just perfect to me. I just love those albums.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way, you know. Listening to those albums, same ones you did, and then the new one, the Senjutsu, which is a really good album.
Maiden's
the newest one.
Yeah, Maiden's just one of the bands where they just got better over time. Like pretty much every album was almost better than the next.
Consistently tighter. Yep.
I think their streak kind of fell off after Bruce left. Then but then it went back up again. I think they're at a good spot right now.
But they haven't changed. They haven't changed one bit though, musically.
Yeah.
Same style as they did 40 years ago.
Yeah, even when Blaze Bayley was with them, musically they still sounded. It was just his voice was just a little different. But writing wise, they were still writing the same style, same, epic type songs. And X Factor, I really enjoy. Virtual, I don't particularly care for that much. That's probably the lowest point as far as their albums for me, other than Somewhere in Time just doesn't resonate with me. Still a good album. I'm not going to deny that. But I wanted to mention about Total Eclipse. I didn't realize, because I had the CD first, but Total Eclipse, I was looking at the vinyl, and Total Eclipse wasn't originally on.
Hold on.
It wasn't part of the original release. They had recorded it, and it was the B-side to Run to the Hills. And when it came to selecting, they selected Total Eclipse, and whichever one didn't, they put that on the album. And they said that they regretted putting Gangland on the album. They felt that Total Eclipse would have worked a lot better.
See, we don't have Total Eclipse on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So that and follows
with the vinyl.
Follows the vinyl.
Yep.
So yeah, I never knew that until I read this. I was like, really? Interesting.
So I'm going to have to go and listen to that one now.
Oh, it's a great song. Great song. It's not, I don't think it's very, that's 4 minutes. But it kind of feels the way it ends and goes. That's why I think it's nice that they put it in between Gangland and Hallowed Be Thy Name, because the way it ends and goes into the beginning of Hallowed Be Thy Name, I think it's perfect.
Better.
Yeah.
Great album.
And let's see. Has sold 14 million. Said by December 2021, the album has sold 20 million copies worldwide.
Wow.
Huge album. Definitely a huge album for them. It cracked the top 40 in the US. And it was
33.
And entered number 1 in the UK upon release. Oh, right there it says Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. I didn't read that part. So yeah, classic album. If you're not a fan of Iron Maiden, this is a good place to start if you want to get into them. And then I recommend listening to everything else in their catalog, including Virtual.
And Somewhere in Time. And Somewhere in Time.
And Somewhere in Time, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's pick another album. Time to pick.
Oh shit! I gotta get the. I didn't set that up.
Oh my
Oh,
Oh,
jeez!
that sucks.
For the love of Pete!
Oh shit! Where's the wheel? It's gone. No.
Oh my god. And this. Oh, there he is. Look at that. He got it.
Okay, see? Told you. I have it saved.
Dude, we're getting close to some albums that I've never heard.
There is only one on here that I've never heard. No.
For me, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 for me.
I've never heard Southern Harmony, and I've heard parts of Tom Petty and Heartbreakers, but I've never heard that as an album. So here we go.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 I haven't heard either.
Oh!
Now,
So there you have it. Next episode, Southern Harmony and Musical Companion by the Black Crowes.
Oh, the Black Crowes.
Be the next one we'll be doing.
Oh boy.
I like the Black Crowes, but I've never heard an album from them. So this ought to be fun.
I want to hear that. I was into this album when it came out. So I used to have, I think I still have it, but I like this album. If I remember correctly, I want to hear it again. It's been too long.
Who picked this one, Donnie?
This was brought to us by, where'd my list go? Comic Burrito. I'll have to reach out to him. Say, hey, thank you. I'm going to send you a prize for helping us out. Thanks. And interestingly enough, this was the secondary from the secondary list in the magazine, because the album that his number corresponded with was The Doors, and obviously we had already set that up to do it. So I figured we'll pick another one, and it was one that I've never heard. So I was like, game, we'll put it in.
Vote. Have you guys heard this?
Nope.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Never.
This is gonna be fun.
So I'm going to be taking a little break. I'm figuring the first weekend in May. We'll get back to it. I'm coming to Florida, going to Disney, and I'm going to try to hang out with some peeps down there. Unfortunately, well, I'll have to wait till the next time I visit Florida to see some other ones.
Yeah. You're coming to Florida and I'm going to San Diego. What are the odds? What are the odds?
It sucks.
What are the odds?
Need to plan to come to a MegaCon one year.
Yeah.
I was hoping that I might be able to sneak down this year, but it's too close.
Yeah.
And I was looking at plane tickets and I was like, I can't afford it. There's no way.
They're hard.
But maybe if I would have booked a flight like 6 months ago, I might have been all right. But who knows?
Definitely.
Anyway, so next episode, Black Crowes, Southern Harmony, Musical Companion. Should be a good show. I like the Black Crowes. Never heard an album by them. So it should be fun. Tonight, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. Hallowed be thy name.
Up you irons.
Up the irons.